Good day, everyone. Today, we will be talking about Lesson 8, which focuses on the idea of the global city. Before we start, let us think of a place like New York, Tokyo, or Sydney. Many of us imagine busy streets, tall skyscrapers, and huge systems. But even if you haven't been to these cities, we've been them in movies, TV, or stories from relatives or friends who live them. So, this shows how globalization cities capture our attention and imagination even from far away. But what exactly makes a city global? Today, we'll be discussing these ideas and explain why global cities matter and how they affect all of us. First, let us talk about why we study global cities and why they matter so much in understanding globalization. From the previous discussion, a lot of what you already learned about globalization focuses on ideas, politics, and culture. But this section reminds us that globalization is also something we can see and feel in actual physical spaces. That's where global cities came in. The first point states that globalization is spatial because it happens in real places. You can see this whenever foreign companies invest in a city or when new buildings and businesses are built. These changes attract workers, including people from abroad, who then rent or buy homes in these urban areas. As this growth happens, it also pushes poorer development residents out of city centers to make a room for new development. So cities become the stage where the effects of global economic flows become visible. The second point is that globalization is spatial because it depends on specific places to function. Cities like Los Angeles and Tokyo shows this as well. Los Angeles produces movies that are consumed worldwide, and Tokyo hosts companies whose products are sold areas across the globe. This means these cities are not just affected by globalization, they also shape it. They act on globalization while globalization acts on them. They are both the source of the pathway through which global ideas, goods, and people move. It also points out that more people are experiencing globalization through cities simply because more people are living them. Way back 1950, only 30% of world live in urban areas. By 2014, it was already 54%, and projections suggest it will reach 65% by 2050. As urban populations grow, cities will play even a bigger role in shaping global culture, trade, technology, and daily life. So, basically, we study global cities because they are the case space where globalization become real. They influence culture, economics, and politics, and they connect different parts of the world through trade, finance, entertainment, and migration. By understanding how cities work and how they change, we get a clear picture of how globalization affects people and society.
Good day, everyone. Today I will be discussing about what is a global city. A global city is basically a major center of finance, trade, and economic activity. In a simple word, these are cities that are very powerful and influential, especially in international business. They connect different countries through their economy, culture, and even politics. The term global city was introduced by sociologist Saskia Sassen in the 1990s. She defined this concept to describe cities that have a significant impact on the global economy. So today, when we say global city, it doesn't refer to an ordinary city. It refers to a city that plays a major role in shaping what happens around the world today. Sassen also identified three global cities: New York, London, Tokyo. These cities have a large number of multinational companies, major financial institutions, and many international activities. This is why they became the original models of what a global city look like. So overall, a global city is a place where global activities came together. These cities serve as hubs for commerce, communication, and connections across the world.
Hi, I am Francis Puyag, and I'm going to talk about indicators and globality. The first one is the economic power and financial influence. One of the strongest indicators of globality is a city's economic strength. Global cities host major banks, multinational corporations, stock exchange, and financial hubs that influence regional and international markets. The second one is connectivity and transformation networks. That is, global cities are highly connected to the rest of the world through international airports, seaports, and advanced transportation system and digital infrastructure. Third one is the political influence in international institutions. Another indicator is the presence of embassies, consulates, global organizations, and international agencies. The fourth one is the cultural diversity and global culture production. Global cities attract people from all over the world, creating multicultural environment where different languages, cultures, and traditional intersects. The last one is advanced communication and information networks. It is access to the high-level technology, research institution, and global media companies is a major indicator of the globality.
Let us now talk about the challenges that global cities faces. We often imagine global cities as exciting places and lots of opportunities, but this image isn't the whole story, like what we've imagined. These cities also have serious downsides, and understanding this problem helps us see the more complicated side of globalization. One of the main challenges is inequality. The global cities can be places with great poverty and violence, even though they are also centers of wealth. Just like globalization creates winners and losers, global cities do the same. Some people benefit from good jobs and access to modern infrastructure, while others end up struggling with high living costs, limited housing, and fewer opportunities. This mix creates strong contrasts within the same space. It also explains that global cities are especially vulnerable to major threats like terrorism. Cities with global influence are obvious targets because they have large population and are symbols of globalization that some groups resent. The same qualities that make these cities attractive to workers and migrants also make them risky in terms of security. It also mentions examples like 9/11 attacks on New York and the coordinated attacks in Paris in 2015. So by the way, the 1911 attacks in New York happened on September 11 when members of Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 commercial airplanes. So Al-Qaeda is a militant extremist group that served as in New York for training and supporting fighters. But it developed into a global organization that planned and carried out terrorist attack. So 2 planes were flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center that caused both towers to collapse. The 3rd plane hit the Pentagon, and then the 4th plane crashed in Pennsylvania, but after passengers tried to stop the hijackers, nearly 3,000 people were killed, and it became one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in the history. And also, the coordinated attack in Paris happened on November 13, 2015. ISIS-linked attackers carried out multiple assaults across the city, including suicide bombings near the Stade de France, shooting at restaurants and cafes, and a mass shooting inside the Bataclan Concert Hall. A total of 130 people were killed. The attacks were planned to strike crowded public places and create widespread fear. These events shows that global cities often become stages for violence linked to political or ideological conflicts. It even notes that high-profile buildings associated with well-known figures can become targets. Now that Donald Trump became the US president, properties carrying his name around the world may face greater security risks. I've mentioned Trump towers in places like Istanbul and Manila as example of sites that could be targeted because the symbol powers or political influence. So, it's clear that global cities don't only represent opportunity and cultural diversity, they also carry serious challenges that came with being deeply connected to the world. They have to deal with inequality, security threats, and the pressures of rapid growth. These realities show the dual nature of globalization. It brings progress, but also creates complicated problems that cities must constantly manage.
The global city and the poor. Okay, let's talk about global cities and the poor. So economic globalization, basically the way the world's economies are all connected, has really increased wealth in some places, but it hasn't been fair for everyone. This is especially true in the big cities. Today, many large cities around the world are called global cities, places where big businesses, advanced technology, and international companies are located. Because of globalization, a lot of money flows into these cities, but not everyone benefits from this progress. As the cities grow and develop quickly, the gap between the rich and the poor becomes bigger. Some people gain huge opportunity, while many others are left behind. In Scandinavian countries like Norway, Sweden, the government provides strong security programs such as free healthcare, affordable housing, and social assistance. In the region is not very large. However, in many developing cities like Mumbai, Jakarta, and Manila, the gap is very visible. You can see modern, beautiful skyscrapers, but right beside them are shabby towns or informal settlements. This goes distance between two very different worlds, the world of the rich and the world of the poor, shows the deep social and economic divide in global cities. It reminds us that even if the economy grows, not everyone automatically experiences progress, especially if the government instead provides strong and inclusive support for its people. So that would be all. Thank you.
To conclude, global cities are vital in shaping the modern world's social, economic, and cultural landscape. Cities like New York, London, and Tokyo are key centers for finance, technology, and international trade. Their significance lies not only in their size, but also in their ability to influence global networks and connect people across borders. As melting pots of diverse cultures, they foster innovation, creativity, and social exchange, making them hubs for emerging trends and opportunities to growth and development.